What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Real Talk NFT, where we talk all things Web3. I'm your host, Joe, and super excited to have a longtime friend here in NFT land. Saxon, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
How's everything in Hawaii?
It's good, man. Weather's good. Nice and sunny outside.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah,
yeah, it's not sunny over here, but one day I'll visit you in Hawaii. I'll get a tan, nice tan, like you. I'm a few shades more pale than you are.
yeah, right on. Yeah, you got to come out here and get some sun, man.
So Saxon, we met 2 years ago at NFT LA. We were in the midst of the bull cycle of NFTs, and we're
Yeah,
both still here. We're both kicking. I know you're doing well with NFTs because I see you on social. I'm still doing okay, not bad on NFTs myself. But I know you've been crushing recently with everything that you've been doing. You've even launched a new project, so I want to get into that. But before we
yeah.
start, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got involved into the Web3 space in the first place.
Ooh, okay. So my background is in business. I went to school for business, and I was really into the tech side of everything. And I heard about Bitcoin in 2013. And then Hawaii just like messed up everything with all of our laws and made it pretty much illegal to purchase Bitcoin in Hawaii.
Mm.
So I got in and I got out really quickly. But some of my friends who moved to they moved to out of state. They were still in the industry and they got into Bitcoin even more so. And fast forward till about 2020, 2021, I believe. We heard about NFTs, and that became a big thing. And then I was like, "This is where it's going to be at." It's all about digital assets, and I still had my convictions about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all of that. I just wasn't really heavily involved until I started getting back into NFTs, and that's what kind of brought me back into Web3.
Yeah, you were one of my first, I wouldn't say first interactions, but one of the first people that connected through Web3 that wasn't a friend that, showed me some trust within the space, which was, I wouldn't say rare, but I remember we met because of the Vivi community. Now that we're talking about it. And I was trying to get
Yeah.
a Mickey and friends. I still have it, by the way.
Oh,
And you were like,
nice.
oh, I got it for you. No problem. I'm like, oh yeah, we can work out, a mediation, the transfer and everything. You're like, no, not a problem. I already bought it for you. I'm like, what? And then that was kind of a shock. Of course, I paid you on the back end,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
just cool to see that there's people out there looking to help each other in the Web3 land.
Yeah, wasn't that the Walt? That was the Walt Disney, right? Was that the Mickey statue?
Yeah, it's still worth like $2,600 today, surprisingly.
I still, yeah, even in this down market, I mean, I still feel like that's a grail. And I think they're talking about, I was collecting on VV a lot and very, passionate about the intellectual property rights that they had for these NFTs. But things happen, and the market went down as well. But I'm still very bullish on the IP and first time of everything. Just like CryptoPunks, right? The first major
Yeah.
collections of everything. I think is still going to have a lot of meaning. 10, 20 years from now and farther.
I believe that. You don't have to tell me, but I think you did pretty well in VV. Just tell me yes or no.
I did. I feel like I could have sold a little bit earlier. I could have sold some things at the top, and then we'd be really good today. But I have some assets on VV that I feel like they're going to be very significant. When the world catches up to uh, digital ownerships of items. So
Yeah, how has your vision changed since we both first started collecting around the same time, and it was kind of, I wouldn't say pie in the high idealistic views of NFTs, but
right.
what's been kind of like your experience this last few years? Because obviously crypto's been down, unfortunately, drag NFTs down, but there's been a lot of development. We're both still in the game. Tell us
hmm
what your thoughts are on NFTs nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're definitely in a bear market, and a lot of projects came and they went. Um, and I feel like we experienced this whole new euphoria of a new technology, right? And so everybody got in, and we were all excited. The prices pumped, And, we saw the big drawdown from what happens in the bear market, and nobody buys art in a bear market. So, I feel like it's a good time to look at the projects that are still here, though, in this bear market. And, it feels like we're kind of coming out of the bear market, with Bitcoin pumping and Ethereum as well. And so I feel like, I feel like Bitcoin will lead the charge and everything, and then, everything else will start to follow again, and we'll get into that cycle where, crypto's popping off again. And I also feel like NFTs will start to pump again as well, just because, you know, money wants to work, and there's like that flow of money, once people make, their millions of dollars on meme coins, they're going to be like, oh, well, you know, we topped off on meme coins. Let's go buy some NFTs now. Let's go use our cryptocurrency for other things. So I think it's just yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I think community is still, we talk about it a lot in NFT land, but there's still people today I talk to from 2020, 2021, even the NBA Top Shot world. We just met up this last Saturday, actually.
Nice.
We went to a pickup basketball game, and yeah, there's a lot of utilities still out there from, good communities. I know you're part of On-Chain Monkeys, which is like a really, really big community that's still kind of blossoming. And through On-Chain Monkeys, I mean, we're not sponsored by On-Chain Monkeys by any means. We don't mind pumping our own bags, but I mean, just this last week, we got, I would like to say $4,000 to $5,000 worth of value just from holding an On-Chain Monkey. Is that right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, we got the Runestone, we got Karma tokens, we got the Karma card. I'm not sure what kind of Karma card you got, but yeah, close to like 4,000 or 5,000, and that's before even the Runestone meme coins that's going to be airdrop.
Yeah,
and for those of us who are listening who don't know what that is, well, I'm going to ask Saxon about Runestones later on down the podcast. We're not here to talk about that, but just to let you know that NFTs are still kind of thriving. I made more these last 2 weeks of NFTs than I did in a long while.
Yeah, and I feel that, I feel like, now's the time to get back into the space. I feel like, especially on the ETH side, right? I feel like the ETH side is going to catch up. What pumped was the Bitcoin side, right? Bitcoin Ordinals pumped. And it was interesting because they pumped in a bear market because they were like the brand new shiny toy, right? It was brand new. And so people started to, move money into Bitcoin because of of the new technology, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to ask you for your whole inventory, but just know that Saxon owns a Bitcoin Shrooms. I remember you tweeting about Shrooms or Xing about Shrooms during the bear market, like a year ago almost. And I remember when Shrooms were popping off on my radar this last few months, and I'm like, I wonder how many Shrooms Saxon has. That's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Right.
And can you? I know you mentioned, you told me you had one of them at least, but can you tell us why you're not selling it? Because it's worth about 2 to 3 Bitcoin right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a good price for a shroom is around there, 2.5 Bitcoin or so. So Bitcoin shrooms is like the crypto punks of the ordinal space. So you know how you have crypto punks and how much they mean to like the ETH community. They're like the first major 10K collection on Ethereum. Well, the Bitcoin shrooms are the first collection on Bitcoin ordinals.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has a lot of historical meaning. And so I believe when the rest of the world catches up to what's going on ordinals, that's going to be the collection that's going to stand the test of time. Like we saw a big drawdown of Bored Apes. We saw it with Artifact and many other Ethereum brands. But the one that still stands is CryptoPunks. And so I believe that's going to be the Bitcoin shrooms. And the problem with Bitcoin shrooms, not the problem, but the thing with Bitcoin shrooms is there's only like 200, oh man, I want to say like 224 ever made on this earth. So it's way less in supply than a CryptoPunk.
So you're not selling anytime soon?
No, not until we reach sometime in the millions,
Yeah,
I mean, we're still selling for like $15 million a piece, right? So
right. There was a $16 million alien punk sold 2 days ago. So now that's
Yeah.
5 aliens sold, and there's only 9. So there's 4 left that hasn't sold.
Yeah, and I still feel like we're not even in the bull market yet, right? And we're still seeing those prices in Ethereum. So I truly believe, we get to those shroom numbers and people start recognizing, we got a lot of billionaires, a lot of Bitcoin billionaires, right? Some of these guys own 1% of the whole entire supply. What are they going to do with that Bitcoin besides hold it? I mean, I feel like once they figure out what ordinals can do and the cool factor about inscribing art onto the blockchain and having it have some, where it'll never ever disappear, right? There's no way that art can be taken off of the blockchain. I think that's really cool, and I feel like a lot of these, Bitcoin holders will want to allocate some of their funds into ordinals one day. And once they figure that out, I feel like, sky's the limit for some of these collections like the Bitcoin shrooms. And I'm looking at a $10 million shroom one day, you
Hey,
know?
when that happens, we would love to have you back on this podcast because I'm definitely still going to be working here while you're in, tropical island enjoying your $10 million sale.
Yeah, man. Hope so. Hope so.
I must admit that I usually adopt NFTs pretty early. Like that's what I live and breathe. I typically try
Yeah.
to buy every NFT as it comes out, but for some reason I missed the Bitcoin Ordinals boat. Not too late, mind you. I still got involved in some of the
Yeah.
projects later on. But like you, I love that the art is on chain forever. It's
Yeah.
not on a server somewhere with AWS. It's
Yeah.
decentralized. So I love that about Bitcoin Ordinals. And you're actually our first guest on to talk about Bitcoin Ordinals, and we would love to have more guests to come on and talk about Bitcoin Ordinals.
Yeah.
Tell us, I just minted your project. What kind of gave you the motivation to start Bitcoin Spartans? And can you tell us a little bit about Bitcoin Spartans?
Yeah. So, the Bitcoin Spartans, they're, first of all, I guess, the Spartan culture is very, very unique and is very inspiring, right? The whole story of Leonidas leading the 300 Spartans to tackle on a whole massive Persian army, right? I mean, that's one of the greatest stories that you can ever think of. And when you think about what a Spartan represents, it's like a lifelong dedication to training and self betterment, health and fitness, and overcoming all obstacles at all costs, right? They're like the ultimate warriors. And so, I've always wanted to do my own collection. I never got around to doing it on ETH, but once I got into the ordinal scene, I was like, man, I have all the resources. I mean, I have the knowledge. I've been in the ecosystem for a few years now. And, it just made sense. Like, why don't I just start my own community? Because it's cool. And, I'm going to be in here for the rest of my life. I'm just going to always be in here. So we developed the Bitcoin Spartans and, we have our artist named Tomato Zero. He's based out of Russia. And so he did all of the artwork for the Spartans. And so if you look at the artwork, there are these like, these Spartan warriors, and some of them have like arrows in their heads or arrows in their bodies. Some of them are bleeding, but it's kind of like the most alpha. I call them like the most alpha ordinals in the space, because they can take all of this punishment and still keep going and still overcome all of their obstacles. And so,
Nice.
yeah.
I love that story. I love that lore. I remember you told me a while back it has something to do, or you wanted it to something to do with health and fitness also, right? Because that's
Yeah.
something that vibes with you.
Yeah. And so I figured, like if I'm going to make a collection, because this is not like my full-time gig, and it's more of a passion project that I wanted to make it around my lifestyle. So, I went to school for business and all of that, but later on in my life, I changed careers slightly, and now I am an actor and a stunt performer.
Nice.
So yeah, but I've always been into martial arts. I was in martial arts since I was 4 years old. I did karate when I was 4 years old. I wrestled in high school. I did kickboxing, Muay Thai, and I'm also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So
Oof.
I've done, like all my whole life, it's just been training martial arts, and now I'm doing stunt work. And so with that, I have to train weaponry, and I train
Nice.
katana and all these different types of weapons as well. So my life is just is based around working out, training, staying fit, and just being the best that I can be. So I figured, what in history, what community was the most inspiring, or what group of people was the most inspiring, and it was the Spartans. So chose to make the Spartans.
Nice. And I saw you incorporate that with, some of the minting mechanics. You had challenges where, people do push-ups to get a whitelist spot. Usually
Yeah.
in the NFT world, people just sit in front of computers all day long and type keyboard masters and then they get a whitelist spot. But you had people actually out there in the real world doing physical activity, which I loved.
Yeah, and we have some ideas, and we want to do a lot of Spartan challenges. We want to try our best to motivate the community, and not everybody's gonna do them, but we have some, like one of our guys, he just commented on the web on Twitter saying that, hey, the Spartans got me in shape 2024. I hadn't worked out for like 5 years, and now he's like getting into the best shape of his life. And so, hey, if we inspire like one person to get up and start doing push-ups, then hey, that's what we're all about.
For sure. Who doesn't want to look like a Spartan? I could see the vision of Spartan protein drinks, Spartan everything.
Yeah, for sure. And that was the initial idea. So we'll see where we go with this. You know, right now it's about the art and how the art makes you feel and motivating the community. And now after we mint, we want to try and move on to the next phase and give back to the community by having another project on top of that to give back. And then we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get you on here actually, because my network has been telling me that it's pretty pricey to launch on Bitcoin. A lot different than Ethereum and or Solana.
Yeah.
Fees a little bit higher to launch a 10,000 NFT project. I heard it takes a minimum of $100,000. Can you
Yeah.
tell us why you kind of went the Bitcoin route instead of the Ethereum route? Is it because of the art that lives forever?
Yeah, that's definitely the main reason. And you had Elon Musk talking about it too, right? He's like, I don't understand NFTs because the actual data is stored on a server, external server, and so he has his own issues with it. But then that's why we're like, well, Bitcoin Ordinal solves that problem, right? It's
Right.
entirely on chain, and so that's why I got into it, and I'm a big fan of Bitcoin. I feel like if everything else fails, Bitcoin is still going to be there. And so I decided to build on Bitcoin. Now, it is a lot more expensive, right? And so the way we did it at the time, I mean, I inscribed this maybe like 5 months ago.
Mm,
And, it's still new, right? I mean, we've only been in the ordinal space for a little bit over a year,
right.
because it's very, very recent or very
Yep.
new. And so I inscribed kind of midway through. And um, I felt like that was the thing to do right there because you had two options, right? Do you inscribe later or do you inscribe now, right? Are the inscription fees going to be more later, or are they less now? And or do you want like some kind of historical meaning as far as when your collection minted, right? So you could mint sub 100,000. You could have minted like sub
Mm-hmm.
1 million inscriptions, and now we're up to what, 20 something. We're closing in on that 30 million range, right, as far as
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
inscriptions. So the more and more this goes along, right, we're gonna reach 1 billion inscriptions one day. And I feel like the art that inscribed early, who are here early, like we definitely inscribed pre 1 year of ordinals, so we can say that we're in here in the first year inscribed, right? So that has a lot of historical meaning as well. So, but the problem with the way that we did it was we pre-inscribed it, and it was very costly to do that because you, as uh, I guess, as a founder, have to put all of this on chain, without any promise of selling the actual collection, right? So you have to take all of this risk of putting the data on chain, paying all the fees, and then now you have to build a community, and then in the hopes of selling to the community and then building that foundation from there, right? So it's a lot more risky, especially than Ethereum, right? A lot more cost involved. And we inscribed it on Palindrome Sats, which is the actual SAT number is this read the same going forward or
Mm-hmm.
backwards. So that also has a special meaning to Greece, right? Because the term palindromes or palindromos started in Greece.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know.
So
I did see that.
yeah. So that's why we chose palindrome sats, and but they were a lot more costly to inscribe with palindromes because you had to like extract the sat and tie it to the actual
Mm.
art piece and all that. Well, I have a developer that did it for me, and so but it was a process,
You also told me before you launched this project, because we were talking before you launched this project, that in the Bitcoin ordinal space, at least right now, there's no such thing as royalties. Even is that right?
There are some exchanges that are trying to bring it in, but the main exchange that everybody trades on is Magic Eden, and they don't have any royalties for the art creators, which is very sad. Yeah. So we have like big projects right now, like so again, the monetization strategies, like if you want to make a living off of this, or if you want to like actually make some money, monetization is a lot harder because sometimes you have like big collections, right, that are very popular, and they gave a free mint.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're very popular because they gave out a free mint, but then they made no money off of it because they have no royalties.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. So it's definitely, a passion project for some in the Bitcoin world right now, and even in the whole NFT space, I would say, because everyone's working on protecting creator royalties. I'm for all
Yeah,
for royalties because everyone's a business at the end of the day, and how could it provide benefits and perks without some source of revenue or income? So I'm all for it,
right.
and I hope down the road Magic Eden finds a way, or other marketplaces find a way to enforce some royalties for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And one thing I wanted to ask you, because you've been in the NFT space for a long time, we're seeing, the meta, the alpha right now is everyone and their moms launching meme coins, right? People are going
yeah,
crazy over meme coins. And on the other side of the coin, we have NFT projects, like real projects, like Onchain Monkey, for example, right? They're
yeah,
launching a coin, or the airdrop karma coin. And I believe it's a good thing. It's great for NFT holders like myself to extract value without selling my NFT. And I feel
yeah,
that, on the flip side of the coin, it gives someone some way to get into, the community without purchasing, let's say, like a on-chain monkey for like 2 Ethereum per se. Um,
yeah,
so that's something that's the new kind of trend right now. But one thing that's coming up, hopefully this episode comes out before then, is the Bitcoin halving. So I wanted to see your view on, what's really hyped up right now in the Bitcoin world. At least I think it's hyped up. I could be completely wrong. We're all drinking our own Kool-Aid here. But
right.
I'm sure you got a free runestone. I saw it within the Spartans wallet. I jokingly, I was like, hey, you have an extra NFT in there, Saxon. Can I get that one?
I
Yeah.
see, I see.
So tell me your
Yes.
thoughts on the runestone protocol, your thoughts on the meme coins that's going to come from there. What's your thoughts on, what Casey's doing?
Well, I think the runes was the play to get into, and I mean, one of the thoughts I had is, first of all, everyone who had three ordinals in their wallet before I think before the end of the year. I don't know when they took the snapshot, but I'm assuming within the
Yeah.
first year of
It
ordinals,
was, yeah,
right?
within the first year, January, around that time.
Right. So they got airdropped a runestone, and so I got a few runestones, for having different wallets and whatnot. But I feel like, if there's a guy in like another country, like a poor country, and they just put in half of the work I put in, or you know what I mean, like I wasn't even doing this full time, and I feel like I might be making a year's salary off of owning runestones, this year. So I feel like if there's somebody in a poor country that just did half of that work, or like their whole entire life is changed, right? So I think, man, this is like the way to change lives. If you want to change lives worldwide, make a worldwide impact, you airdrop 110,000 runestones to everybody in the world and have the market dictate the price. And it's just been kind of cool to see the value go up, and see people, making money and being able to make a living off of this, you know. cryptocurrency Web3 world that we're in. So
I got it. So you haven't sold any of your runestones yet.
I haven't, and because but the problem is I wanted to buy more, right? Like we were thinking, okay, there's 100,000 of these, it's gonna drop. When it drops, we start buying more, right? Um, that really never happened. And so I do know some guys they were buying when it did drop and stuff like that. That was the actual play. But I'm happy with what I have. I never sold any of my rune stones, whereas a lot of my friends, if they had two rune stones or they had three rune stones, they sold two, took profits, and then kept one. But my thinking was, look, it's not going to change my life, right? If I sell one
Hmm.
rune stone at $1,000, that's not going to change my life, right? So like it really doesn't matter to me. So I didn't sell any. I kept them all, and we're hoping that, and we're also looking at market caps, right? So we're thinking Runestones is going to come in. It has the potential to do what Ordi did, or to be where Ordi's at, and that was the first BRC20 token. So we were thinking that it was going to come to that market cap, maybe hit $1 billion or whatever, and so that's kind of the number that we're looking for. When it might be a good time to sell. But now with Runestones, there's a lot of other companies that want to airdrop
Hmm.
their Runestone, their Rune tokens to all of the holders, to get their projects pumped up as well, right? So we don't know what's going to happen. It's an interesting world right now, where
Yeah.
snapshots are being taken and people are like, sometimes, just from being a shroom holder, I'll get like a $400, you know, inscription dropped into my wallet just for free.
Hmm.
So it's like man, like really, really, if you put more effort into ordinals at the beginning, man, you could have had a lot of money in all these airdrops. And I feel like we're just right out of the first year. We got another 20, 30 years, before we're older to play this game. And I feel like, we start holding some of these grails, these early ordinal grails, like runestones, 10, 20 years down the line, we might have like $1 million worth of tokens dropped to us. Like we have no idea what's going to happen, right? Like crazy stuff is going on in this space.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what's
There,
going to
there,
happen, but
there is a funny headline today. BlackRock, BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock has a $100 million NFT fund. They call it the Digital Asset Fund, and they got airdropped, or they got people sending them NFTs and meme coins, and they got around 40,000 in meme coins, and we don't know how much in NFTs they got, and they didn't even want it. They just sent $100 million into their NFT fund to start the process. But it's so funny that they've got
yeah,
over $40,000 worth of meme tokens in like less than half a
right.
day because of that. So yeah,
And,
super
and
funny.
it makes sense, right? Because these guys who are starting their meme tokens, they want to pump their project, right? And then when somebody tracks it, oh, this meme token is in BlackRock's wallet, then you know what I mean? Like people are just doing that nowadays, and it's kind of insane, but it's kind of exciting at the same time to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, I'm excited. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, rune stones, rune protocols, basically just a meme tokens on Bitcoin, which already exists, but it's going to be the new improved version coming in about a few days during the Bitcoin halving. So we're super excited about that, and we know not a lot of people are talking about it. That's why I wanted your input, because you're one of the earliest Bitcoin
Yeah,
Ordinals NFTs adopters that I know of. So bringing it back to your project really quickly, and just to wrap things up,
yeah.
there's a lot of collaborations out there that people do. I saw you doing some things with Bitcoin Machine. Can you talk about any future events or things that's going to happen with Spartans?
Let's see. So, we have, just being an OG in the space, I go to all of the events, like NFT LA, NFT NYC. I've been to, Amsterdam, inscribing Amsterdam. I go to all the Bitcoin conferences in Miami, And so we meet
Yeah.
up with all of these guys. And so I know a lot of the project founders in real life, And so, yeah, I mean, we'll do some things IRL, where it's, events IRL, or, we'll be working on some things in the future. I have some ideas where I want to go with expanding the Spartan collection,
Hmm.
and I'll probably, talk with the community and see what they want to do, and it'll be kind of like a community driven effort. but we definitely want to expand and then do some cool things. We just want to have fun, have some fun, spread the love, spread the Spartan love and that vibe, and
Yeah.
then do some cool things in this space.
Nice. I love it. You know what I would
So
love to do as a Spartans holder? I would love to do a Spartan race as a Spartan NFT holder. I've never done one before.
nice.
I've seen so many people do it, and I
Yeah.
might not survive, but if you organize that, I'm flying into Hawaii.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. So if we do that, maybe we would kind of tie it around like a Bitcoin event. That
Mm,
might make sense, like a Bitcoin Nashville or something like that.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe. Or if we
Well,
have an Ordinals Hawaii, if we have an Ordinals Hawaii, that would be like the perfect timing. NFT Hawaii, we got to do that.
nice. We got it. Yeah, good. I mean, I always need an
Yeah,
excuse to go on to Hawaii. We're pretty close, San Francisco to Hawaii. It's not
yeah.
that far.
We gotta have an NFT Hawaii. We talk about ETH, we talk about SOL, we talk about Bitcoin. Just an NFT conference in Hawaii. I think that would be kind of cool.
There was a lot of NFT founders there. So,
Yeah,
you can start one and I'm flying out there. I don't care how many
yeah.
people it is. It's just be a ton of fun. We'll
I,
get some on-chain monkeys out there. We'll get some Spartans out there. It'll be great.
yeah, yeah. That'd be cool, man. That would be cool. I think we'd have a lot of people actually in Hawaii. There's a lot of
Oh,
people I don't know probably in Hawaii that's doing it. So
absolutely. Well, it's
yeah,
been great having you on, Saxon. I can't wait to see what happens in the next few years. I
yeah,
wasn't surprised that you were still in the space because I saw you so active and doing so well. Early on from when we met to now, I knew you were going to crush it.
yeah,
So I imagine the
yeah,
next few years you're going to be in a totally different level, and I'm super excited for that.
yeah. Let's go, man. Looking forward to it. Let's go,
Awesome. Is there
Spartans.
is there anywhere that people can find you? You want to shout out any of your handles, anything like that, so that you can connect with people if you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, at Saxon Sawai, SaxonSawai, and you can also follow the Bitcoin Spartans on Twitter. It's at BTC Spartans.
Awesome, guys. I'll make sure to put the links all down below so that you can bug, Saxon about what's upcoming next so you can get in ahead, just like he did on all
Yeah.
the things. So thank you again, Saxon. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, bro. Take care. We'll talk soon.